This is my FIFA World Cup team of the tournament, and I'm leaving out some big names. Let me know yours in the comments below. In goal, it has to be Livakovic. He kept Croatia in some of the games, especially in the knockout stages, and made some crucial saves. I mean, Croatia won 2 penalty shootouts at this World Cup. He has to be in the team. Hakimi was brilliant for Morocco and really cemented himself as one of the best right backs in the world. Now, I think the goalkeeper and right back was relatively easy to choose, but right centre back was a little bit harder. I don't think there was any standout right-sided centre-back, so I've gone with Cristian Romero. After all, he did win the World Cup, and I thought particularly in the final he was really good. And the reason being is because whenever France had the ball in the final third, immediately he would go and press, and he would press players like Griezmann in particular, who didn't really have a sniff of the game at all. Yes, France scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, but that wasn't down to Griezmann or the France midfield. That was just down to Mbappe's brilliance. So Cristian Romero was excellent, and even when Argentina changed formation from 4 at the back or 5 at the back, he was always at the heart of defence. I am going to butcher his name, so I do apologise for that, but Givaldo, the Croatian left-sided centre-back, who's 20 years old, was incredible. For someone so young to be so composed was fantastic. His passing ability is brilliant. I mean, Messi did get past him for the 3rd goal in such a spectacular way, but it is Messi, the GOAT. We can kind of forgive him for that. He currently plays for Red Bull Leipzig, so I can see him getting a big European move soon, maybe to like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, or maybe even the Premier League. I found the left back choice quite difficult, but I've gone with Mazzaroni of the Ajax left back. Again, I've butchered the pronunciation, I do apologise. He was fantastic for Morocco. I've got to have 2 Moroccan defenders in the team, given that up until the France game, they'd only conceded 1 goal, and that was an own goal. A phenomenal effort from the Moroccan team and their defence, and the fullbacks were a major part of that. In modern day football now, fullbacks are so important, and the Moroccan fullbacks, Mazzouri and Hakimi, were absolutely outstanding. I should say my team is a 4-3-3 formation, and in the number 6 role, holding, I have got Fernandes. Enzo Fernandez of Argentina, of course. This guy was absolutely fantastic. The way him and Rodrigo de Paul defended that up midfield for Argentina was incredible. You could have either had de Paul or Fernandes, but I've just picked Fernandes, and it is fitting that he was chosen as the young player of the tournament. Now, I say Fernandes was relatively unknown, kind of was, kind of not, but Ounahi of Morocco definitely was. He was brilliant. He plays for Angers in Liga at 22 years old. Surely he'll get a big European move either in January or in the summer. Nowadays in football, with the attention there is, and with games like FIFA and Football Manager, it's harder and harder to find hidden gems, but Ounahi was definitely a proper hidden gem. I couldn't include a FIFA 2022 World Cup team without having Griezmann in midfield. It was a masterstroke by Didier Deschamps to move Griezmann from a striker or winger position to at the number 10 role, just behind the striker. In my team, he's kind of a number 8 because it's a 4-3-3, but Griezmann, what a brilliant midfielder he was at this tournament. And the only game he didn't really show up for was that final, because the Argentina midfield and defenders like Cristian Romero just pressed so well and stopped the supply to Mbappe, which was Griezmann. So the front 3, I think 2 of them are really obvious. I'm going to start with one of the picks of the obvious 2, and that is Mbappe. Golden Boot winner, 23 years old. He scored a hat-trick in the final, and yet he didn't win the World Cup. What an incredible player. Some could argue some of his goals were penalties, but in that moment, in a World Cup, to score 1 penalty is so difficult. He scored 3 penalties in the final, including 1 in the penalty shootout, and they all went the same way. A really composed player, a fantastic finisher. In the final, he didn't even use his pace to score the goals. It was just his incredible finishing that got him his hat-trick. For me, he is the best player in the world right now, but of course the GOAT is Lionel Messi. What more can you say? Yes, he didn't win the Golden Boot, but he still scored, 6 goals in the tournament? Carried Argentina through so many games. You've got to remember, for context, Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia in the opening match, so they were always chasing. And maybe looking back now, that might have actually helped Argentina, because it felt like they were always only 1 game away from elimination. And then you get to half-time against Mexico in the second game, 0-0, second half starts. Argentina fans are a little bit, nervous. And then Messi scores. And then Messi goes on to score in every single stage of the tournament, right up until the final. Even putting his penalty in the penalty shootout in the same direction and same technique as Diego Maradona. Incredible. An iconic player, the GOAT, fantastic, phenomenal Messi. And once England were out, I did want Argentina to win the World Cup. Or Morocco, I have to add that. But in the final, I wanted Argentina to win over France. And then finally, up front, I've gone with Giroud. Age is like fine wine. For context as well for Giroud. didn't play in a top league until 23. He never stopped, he kept going, and he's eventually got his chance with France. And during this World Cup, of course, he became France's all-time top goal scorer. Now, Mbappe will almost certainly break that, but for Giroud to even claim that personal achievement at one point is brilliant. Phenomenal from him. So important with the link-up play for Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele, and of course he scored that crucial goal against England to get France to the semi-finals. At some point, people have got to stop saying about Giroud as an underrated player. He's just a fantastic world-class player, and I think it's fair to say a lot of people thought when Giroud left Arsenal, oh, that was it, he was never going to reach the same heights, but he's clearly shown otherwise, winning the World Cup in 2018, reaching the final at this World Cup, becoming France's all-time goal scorer, a brilliant player. And for my manager of the tournament, I have to go with Walid, the Moroccan manager. Maybe the Argentinian manager, Lionel Scaloni, I think is how it's pronounced. I apologise again if I got the pronunciation wrong. He was very tactically flexible with Argentina, but for Walid, he was only the Moroccan manager a few months before the World Cup, and to set his team up where they only concede one goal up until the semi-finals is a phenomenal achievement. The first African side to reach the semi-final as well, a brilliant World Cup for him and Morocco. Let me know your team of the tournament for the World Cup in the comments below, and let me know what kind of content you'd like to see me make in the future. Thank you very much.